I toyed around with the PS4 Pro, played Watch Dogs 2, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and all I can say is that it's a missed opportunity. Let me know what you think of the PS4 Pro and don't forget to hit that like button. I know a ton of people that are willing to invest in a new piece of hardware. They play a ton on their PS4, so to spend around the $400 to do an upgrade after 3 years is a cool idea if you got some awesome new things. Like I said, I played around with the PS4 Pro for a little bit, and just like Sony's communication, only the graphics really changed for some PS4 games that already looked insane. Okay, the Call of Duty single player had some better smoke and lightning, and riding around in the city in Watch Dogs at night with the street lights was mostly awesome because of the HDR, a feature that makes colors way more, colorful. Orange is really orange and you mostly see the difference when you turn on the HDR on and off. In NBA 2K17 the HDR feature also shines. Because of the many colors on the screen, the shirts, the people in the audience, it's insane. You don't know what you're missing, but when you switch the HDR on and off in real time, you really don't want to go back. But HDR is also supported on the normal PS4. You just need an HDR TV, although I can imagine that 4K HDR looks better, but 4K just overall is not that impressive. It's not that huge leap at all. It doesn't make games like Call of Duty multiplayer that already don't look very good any better. It doesn't change it at all. If you put a random person in front of a TV and, for example, say, is this a 4K game on a PS4 Pro or a game on a normal PS4, then they will not see the difference. Maybe games that are coming out later like Horizon and Mass Effect and many titles after that will make better use of the PS4 Pro capabilities, but right now it's not interesting at all. And to go back to my intro, I was ready to spend $400 on an upgrade just like many other PlayStation fans. I sat there with my wallet during the press conference, but it was a total letdown. After toying around with the console, I feel the same. This is a missed opportunity. I want unique features that I can't have on my regular PS4 because of power. Not just better graphics, because like I said, I like my PS4 games just fine. I just finished the Titanfall 2 campaign and man, that already looked awesome. I also don't have a 4K TV and you really need that to see a lot of the changes. What I mean with unique features is, it's just simple. Not game-changing features, no exclusive games. I understand that why that's not possible, but let's say split screen. We hear from developers that, oh, split screen, we can't have that or we don't launch with it because it's too hard. For example, Uncharted 4 doesn't have split screen in their multiplayer because, quote, it's technically challenging, there are many hurdles and obstacles that we would need to overcome if this feature is ever to be delivered, end quote. Mostly because of the hardware, it's hard to make a game run with a split screen because you essentially need two screens running at the same time. As we saw with a lot of games that do have split screen, it just looks worse and the frame rate might drop as well. But why is that, do you think? Because the hardware that the game runs on is not capable. It's already pushed to the limits with a single screen, so to make them separate is just a pain. But with the PS4 Pro, this should not be an issue. The PS4 Pro runs PS4 games on a way more powerful hardware that can probably feature split screen without a loss. And For Honor, for example, dropped a split screen mode recently because it was probably too hard to do. But for example, if For Honor would have a split screen mode on the PS4 Pro because that hardware is way more powerful, then you have a unique feature that I would be willing to spend money on because I just simply love split screen. But it's not a deal breaker for people that don't own a PlayStation 4 Pro, but just a cool feature for people that care. Also the menu, it just feels the same and it loads the same, yes, still slow sometimes. There are also some things that you want to see revolved. I don't care if you got like a hybrid SSD, HDD inside the PS4, but if you call it a Pro, I want everything to go faster as well. Load times are identical with the PS4 Pro and the normal one. It's not what I expect from an upgraded version of a 3-year-old console. I mean, the new 3DS, that's the closest thing that we can compare to this one in the recent years, had better load times and everything was just way smoother, and this should also be the case for the PS4 Pro. The improved share button is a good thing and something that I do like to see. You can now take 4K screenshots, record with 30 FPS and 1080p, use remote play with 1080p 60 frames per second, and have a better streaming quality on the different surfaces. That's a cool small thing, although a lot of people that use these features have game capture devices that could already do it, but still, features like this are expected in a new Pro version. and are nice to see, but there should be way more of. For example, a snap YouTube and game feature where you can watch like a walkthrough of a game while trophy hunting yourself. You don't really need a second device with you all the time if you have the PlayStation 4 Pro then. Being able to run like 2 games at the same time and switch around between them, that would also be cool. Or not having a processing unit with your PlayStation VR. Features like that are nice and make your user experience better without being that really necessary. This is not what the PS4 Pro is though. It's a PlayStation 4 that upscales and sometimes natively runs PS4 games in 4K, and that's about it. Sometimes it's a game that has some options to make it run better, but sometimes the game doesn't feature that. It's just a mess, and that's without to say that a ton of popular games like GTA and Overwatch aren't even supported. That's my take on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Like I said, I wanted to drop down the $399 money if it had some awesome features. And yeah, right now I don't really see a reason, nor can I advise this console to anyone, even with or without a 4K screen. Maybe PSVR, but sadly I could not test this. Anyway, what's your stance on the PlayStation 4 Pro? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video if you did, subscribe for way more PlayStation 4 Pro content, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.